Hey guys, video number 2, following on from session number 1, which was the stand command. This one is looking at the step over command. Again, nice and simple, but actually very useful. You know, we would use this when teaching a horse to draw into the mountain block and stuff like that. So, you know, it's really important to be able to nail these kind of things, and actually, as you say, quite difficult to keep their attention. So I hope you like the video, and I hope you guys are willing to give it a go.
Alright guys, so working on from the stand command, the next one we're going to do is a command called step over, and it's literally just that, stepping over the hind legs. This one gets a bit more tricky. So there's a couple of hand positions and there's a couple of like pressure points with your own energy level that's important for this one, and I'm just going to basically leave that to Jazz to explain throughout the video. But yeah, my top tip for this one would be that those hand positions and your energy level are going to be the ones you really need to work on. So the command is really simple: flash, flash, step over, and that's all we're looking for, is that hind leg, his near hind leg steps over the path of his like outside hind leg. To start, one step's fine for you guys, so we literally just want him to go flash, step, and then we're going to release the pressure. So that's it. We'll have a play with that, and we'll put a little example in of what we can do with it when we've got it good.
Okay, so this part of the video is basically Flash showing off the ideal situation, if you will. So Francois will have told him stand, drop the rope on the floor. Now that's a really important thing. You don't have to drop the rope on the floor, but it's just a clear indication to the horse that you're not stopping them from making a mistake. So Flash is listening to the stand command. Francois can walk around him, which is like we worked on last time. Here, Francois is just checking he can swing his arm next to him, and that Flash is happy with the fact that he's still listening to the stand command and that we don't want him to do anything else. What's quite interesting with Flash on the other side is that he actually looks over, looks to the other side all the way around to the point where he's actually looking at Francois from his other eye, just over his wither, if you want to look at that. That bit's not necessary. That's just a little bit of a show off, but that's always nice. There's nothing wrong with that. So here, Francois takes up the rope underneath the head collar, asks him to step over, drops the rope, recoils the rope. But when you ask them to step over, it's important that the rope goes from loose on the ground to hand on the head collar. Lift your hand up, say step over, look for the crossing of the hind legs, tell him what a good boy he is. So this part of the video is now us actually teaching Flash the step over command. So at the beginning, you guys just want to refresh the stand command and check that yours is tuned in with you and listening, because obviously it's actually really quite hard to get them listening.
Yeah.
But all of this is just checking that the horse is standing there and that you can step around them, pat them, and they know that you can do stuff, but you've asked them to stand so they can just relax. See there, Francois wants to be able to move the rope and Flash not be able to not move because we've told him to stand. So basically our way of dealing with this, as some of you guys know that have been working with us, is that Francois will keep the pressure there. Keep the pressure, in this case is him swinging the rope. So he'll keep the pressure there, keep it there, until Flash gives him the right answer, which is just to stand still, because we are still on that command. We still have only told him to stand. So the rope is still swinging, the rope is still swinging. This is Flash just trying answers. There, he stood still. Francois dropped the rope and told him he's a good boy. Then you reset, tell him to stand, drop the rope. That's important to show him that you're going to allow him to make the same mistake. Go back to where you were, do the same thing again, and see the reaction you get. So it's all about pressure and release. Here we want him to stand, so we will swing the rope, and Francois will give him little breaks when he gives us a positive sign, just little pauses in the pressure, because that's where Flash is at in terms of his training. But that's a point of judgment on depending on your horses. So there, Francois is happy that he can stand and swing the rope, and Flash will relax. So he tells him to come, gives him a break, walks on. He'll now just check this side, check that we can do the same thing on this side, before he'll now work on the step over command. So the rope is loose throughout the stand command to allow them to make that mistake. But as you'll see in a minute, the hand position changes to under the head collar. The right hand lifts up, asks him to step over, the hind legs cross, then you can reward them. One step is enough to start with, but it's important that the hand positions are correct, so it's loose to start with. Then you pick up almost a contact underneath the head collar, and ask them to step over. That for them just gives them a clear signal and a clear indication as to when you're going to ask them to do something. The other point that Francois made is about your body position and your energy. It's really important that you can give them room to step over. So if the horse isn't stepping over, you may be blocking them. So just try moving almost towards the shoulder a little bit more so they can step away from you. And also remember to keep taking a deep breath and keep calming your energy. It's important for them to realize that you're calm throughout this whole thing and that learning isn't intimidating. So here, this is all about, Flash developing this step over command to the point where Francois can tell him to stand, he can move away from him, swing his arms around, and Flash is almost locked in that stand command. You can change your hands, pick up a contact, ask him to step over, the hind legs cross, take away your hand and tell him what a good boy he is. So yeah, that is how we teach the step over command. It follows on from the original stand command, and there's a couple of things to remember when teaching them this, and that is to start with your hand positions. That with the stand command, the rope is clearly loose. It doesn't have to be on the floor, but it has to be a clear indication to the horse that they are free to make their own decisions. We can't force them to stand still, because then when we want them to do something, as I said previously, you almost take up a contact, move your hand underneath the head collar. That just gives them a clear sign that I'm going to be asked to do something. It's almost like a half halt when you're riding. And then ask them to then lift the outside hand and simply just ask them to step away from the pressure. To start with, one step is good, but we would be quite strict and keep the pressure there until they make that step across with their hind leg. The other thing to think about is your body position and your energy. Make sure your energy is low. You keep taking big deep breaths to show the horse that it's all very relaxing. We're just learning, and the fact that you are not blocking them from making that step. Give them the room to make a mistake. If you feel like they're not moving, just try, as I say, moving towards the shoulder and seeing what you get. Have fun, see whether there's a side they prefer or don't, see whether they're nice and even, both sides, or there's a side that you find harder. So yeah, thanks guys, and let me know what you think.